Hello, hello, hello. Here we are once again. Here he is. He's here again. Oops, that's going to fall off. That thing's already falling off the wall. Oh dear. That's not good, is it? Oh, the things have come unstuck. That's unfortunate. So just take that off the wall. Imagine that's still there, because otherwise it will knock that one off. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Oh well, these things happen. Yeah, it's kind of good job I spotted that, because it could have fallen off, couldn't it, during the thing? But we saved it. It came off.
Oh, it came off.
It finally came off. And just luckily it didn't fall.
Yeah.
So there you go. Just stick that back on.
Yes.
Seems a bit. What's it like that? Alright, folks. I've got a plan. What I'll do. I've got a plan, everyone. I've got a plan. What we do is we put a record there like that, because that won't fall off then. What I do? Put that there, and that's light enough to balance, because there's no record in it, it's just a sleeve. So that'd be compromise. It's aesthetically pleasing. Just ignore these things. They should have stuck this thing there. So it's weird, because it's the oh well. These things happen. They lose their grip, you see, because they're like Velcro, and these peel off. They peel off the wall, and they're like Velcro. And that wasn't a very good start, was it? Wasn't a very good start at all. Let's see who may or may not be in the chat room, because it's the wonderful world. Where are we? Oh, there might be 4 people watching. As many as that. Jason Colston. Maybe it might be him. It might not be. We just don't know. We just don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I can pin the comment. Let's see. I've turned. I'm gonna sneeze. Wait a minute. I'm gonna sneeze. Let me just mute it. I don't want to. You don't want to burst people's eardrums, do you, when you do that? It's very. Alright, so let's see. I'll just say all chat is open. Fake members, welcome. There we go. I can do that. Can I pin that? Yes, I can pin that. Well, I can only take your word for it. I can only take your word for it. Renee's in. G-Man's in. Well, they might be. Nobody really knows, do they? Nobody knows. But my logic is, the more fake members are here, the more traction there is. You see, this is what I mean. I need to encourage as many fake people in as possible to help with the with the channel. Zeb's in. He says hello. Indeed, hello. Oh dear, got the sniffles. So I don't know what we're going to talk about. I don't know. What does anyone want to talk about? Oh, I'm going to sneeze again. Oh God. Going to just mute the microphone. Just hang in there. Ugh. I'm still on mute. It's stupid. I'm going to have to do that bit again now. It doesn't put anything on the screen. It should put something on the screen to tell me I'm mute. Oh dear. Now I'm going to blow my nose. Oh dear. Mate, got to find out my hanky. Oh, my hanky's in a terrible state. Hold it. Let me just play a nice video for you. Sorry about that. It's a terrible, terrible evening. As I was saying, Kate Bush has resurged because Stranger Things, Running Up That Hill, or as we call it, Deal With God, because she only changed the title to appease the right-wing God botherers of America on the recommendation of her record company. Yeah, we remember her. Wogan, appearing on Wogan, doing the song. Yeah, Hounds of Love. Yeah, great album. You get the gist of it. Colson says, I'm the one who remembered menswear. You've got a lot to answer for. You've got a lot to answer for. Tad mute, yeah. Am I still mute? Am I still mute? Colson says, what sneeze must have been loud? I can't hear anything. I've blown your eardrums out, that's why. I've blown your eardrums out. But yeah, today is the anniversary of me becoming diabetic. Hooray! Hooray for me! Oh well. Where is the sound? I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Is there still no sound? Munton's in. He said, how's your week? What's the replacement on the wall? Oh, the other one fell off. It was actually fell off as I started the thing. You missed it. That's if you're the real Munton. Like I said, I don't know anymore. The chat is open. This is taught us rhythms, resolutions and clusters. It was reissued earlier, but it's taken my copy to arrive a very long time because I ordered it from Thrill Jockey direct, and they take a notoriously long time to get anything to me, but it's gold vinyl. It's gold. I was going to do an unboxing, but seeing it wasn't Pink Floyd, I didn't think anyone would care. So I was listening to that today, but I already know it because it was on the Lazarus Taxon box set, which is, where is it? It's somewhere around there. It's down there. You can't see it. There's guitars in the way. It's just over there. It's in that box set there. It's remixes from their first album, and to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the band or something, they reissued it on vinyl, which was nice, and I got a copy and it arrived today and I listened to it this afternoon, and I put that on the wall to hide the bit where Laurie Anderson should be because my thing fell off the wall. I'm not happy about it because these aren't drilled on the wall. I use these sticky things, but sometimes the Velcro, because these are Velcro pad things that stick to the wall and you can pull them off and they don't mark the wall, and sometimes the Velcro goes a bit funny and they fall off the wall. I've had many of them crash to the floor, but I didn't want them it falling down during the live stream, so I took it off. The more I explained, the worse it became. Munton says the one where the sneeze took longer to come out than the new PTO album, which is coming out next year. Apparently. Don't worry, apparently they're touring next year. I remarked, I said, well, I look forward to not going. Because I doubt I'll be able to afford to go. Even if I wanted to go. And I don't want to go. Because, Summer colds are the worst, says Shane. It's not a cold, I just had the sneezes. I think it was the dust from the Laurie Anderson EP. I think up my schnoz. What did I say? I don't remember. Zeb says, seems we might get away within 2023. Yeah, well, who knows? Who cares? I don't. Look, Up was bad enough. Alex can hear me loud and clear. Are you the real Alex Johnston? That's funny, because I blocked an Alex Johnston last week. Are you the real one, or are you the fake one? We'll never know. There are many Alex Johnstons, aren't there? Everyone, keep your eye on Alex Johnston. I think he might be trouble. Munton says, open chat to see how it goes. Well, it's not. It doesn't bother me, because what they try and do is they try and get me to say things. I think this is their plan. I think they're playing like they asked me about the great was it displacement or whatever it's called, or replacement. Like I'm going to be all for it. And so I think they want to clip things and post them to make me look bad. I've said enough bad things in my life for you to cancel me several times, so go ahead. It really doesn't matter. None of it matters. So I don't know what your game is, because like I said, it don't bother me. Get more viewers if you're all fake, don't we? Mind you, only 19 people in this week, so obviously I scared everyone off last week with my amazing performance, but some people get it. The old faithful get it, some people don't. Seb said, Tortoise, did you do a primer? I can't remember. I might have done once, but whether or not it's still out there is another thing. Does anybody care? I have further evidence of YouTube suppressing me. They're suppressing me, guys. And girls, if there's any girls watching, doubtful, no YouTube pussy for Darren. Remember that. I've only ever had men proposition me on YouTube. Can you believe that? I've been propositioned by at least 3 or 4 men for sex on here. Aren't I the lucky one? Like I said, no YouTube pussy for Darren. It's me stunning good looks. It's me stunning good looks. That's what it is. Got to be careful, because Verity's probably suffering with insomnia the same way I've been. He says, if I do fall asleep during this live stream, don't attempt to wake me up. The same if I die. If I have a heart seizure or something, do not call the authorities. Do not alert anyone. Just let me pass, Just let me slip away. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, being suppressed by the man. Because the other day, when was it? Was it Sunday night? I went a bit viral. I did. I felt a bit fluey. No, I didn't. I went a bit viral. How so? I'll show you. My little review of Pistol, about the Sex Pistols, suddenly caught traction. Did it, Darren? Did it? Yes, it did. You can see it when I show you on the screen. If I can make it big for you. That's what she said. Oh God, is that big enough? That's what she said. Here you go. You can see it here. Look. It went viral. Look there. See that there? There was some traction, and then the algorithm went, no you don't, and then it died. For all of about, I don't know, 6 hours, I had my holiday in the sun. And then they went, no, we're not going to let you go viral. And and that, you see, because the way things used to work is they used to go up. Imagine the curve going up, and then they gradually taper down. It's the same kind of pattern that you saw on Herb's channel, where you just fall off a cliff. It was the idea of the long, was it called the long tail, where you'd peak, and then everyone would just gradually tail off as they get bored with you. Here, there is no evidence of the long tail. There is some evidence of some interest. And then the algorithm steps in and goes, we don't want you getting too many views. You've gone and made something that people might want to see. We can't be having that. And that's why YouTube's rubbish. Sorry, I have to do it every week. I have to. It's the law. I wouldn't feel right about it if I didn't mention it, but I see it, you know. I see these things. I see it. I see everything. Jason says, isn't that Floyd Animals remaster supposed to be out this summer? It's supposed to be out in March. Who cares? Does anyone care? Why would you care when you've got the new Porcupine Tree album coming out this month? Hooray! I'm gonna make some new friends. I'm gonna make some new friends. I'm gonna make some new friends. Well, again, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Because, well, Roger Waters is a prick, and Roger Waters is a prick. I think we can all agree. And so say all of us. Oi! Noel says, feel like PG's retired. But yeah, he hasn't. He's been working on the album for many, many years. But I think he went into a little bit of a hiatus. One, because of the COVID, obviously, and two, I think his missus wasn't very well. So, you know, and again, I don't think he's not that bothered. I mean, they say there's going to be a tour because Manu Katché is going to be the drummer, and he gave an interview in a French magazine and said, oh, ho, ho. No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that at all. I imagine him with a beret on, a black and white striped jumper, and some onions around his neck. But no, yeah, there's going to be a tour or something. He's in the room or not? Are we back in the room? Sorry, I got disconnected for a minute there. I don't know why my router does that sometimes. It just does. But yeah, Manu Katché, he spoke to a French magazine and said there's going to be a tour, and so therefore it's going to be an album. However, you know, Patches, hey, says, what kind of sport do you like watching? Women's volleyball. Martin says, I came up with an idea where you could do a new video. I hate Pink Floyd, and all you do is film yourself taking a collection off the shelf, throwing it in the recycling with a problem solved. No, it needs to be like one of those wood chippers. It needs to be a chipper, you know, so I can shred it. I'd love to do that, but hey, I like money too much. So there you go. Rene says, don't know about you, but I'm done with huge gigs. Last one for me was 2 weeks ago in Amsterdam. Tool, great gig, but I'm done with it. I like small gigs a lot more. Well, this is my thing with Peter Gabriel, is it was bad enough when he used to do Wembley Arena, and it was good. We got like near front row seats on the floor, and so we could see him. Actually, he was standing that close to me when the warm up was on, and I actually made eye contact with Peter Gabriel, you know, and I'm sure he thought, is that Darren Lock there? I must go and follow him in Twitter when Twitter's invented. So it came to pass. Any of you followed by Peter Gabriel on Twitter? Nah, just me. I'm followed by all the stars. Peter Gabriel, Steve Hackett's sister-in-law. We was having a little chat the other day. That was nice. But no, I don't. Again, if he plays, he's going to play something like the O2. And I don't really want to spend like 80 quid to sit far away as possible to see a little bald man hobbling around. I don't want to. If I wanted to do that, I'd have gone and seen Genesis to see an old bald man sitting down for the duration of the gig, wouldn't I? Because at least he ain't moving, and I don't have to keep moving with binoculars. But no, I don't know. I just, you know, gigs are done for me. If it's a small, that just, I didn't know what that was. It must have been a bit of chocolate. It's a bit of chocolate melted on my desk. Don't ask. That must have been from like a Kit Kat from about 3 years ago. I do not eat chocolate at this desk. No, it must have. Would the missus have been eating biscuits at this desk? Sometimes she drinks her tea at this desk when we're talking to the kids in the afternoon. But look at that. That looks like a dirty protest. Ugh. Let's hope it's chocolate. I think I should really keep the desk clean. Ugh. That's not a good look, is it? That's going to be the thumbnail. But yeah, so again, my thing is paying lots of money to go to a big arena, and it's different if the band's got lots of screens and whatnot, and you know. But I'm old. I don't really care. Oh, I wish I did care. I don't care anymore. I've given up. Dawson K says, do you agree with John Lydon political beliefs? What are his political beliefs? Yeah, I'm probably more in line with Lydon because he agrees with me on Brexit. He agreed with me on Trump being a necessary evil because people are so politically bereft of what goes on that they vote for the outsider to see if it changes anything. You know, political stagnation has happened because the current political classes have completely ignored what they're there for. They're there to make our lives better, and as we're seeing at this very moment in time, they are not doing a big job, a big or good enough job at it. You'll see it all over the world. The leaders just kind of look at each other, completely unaware of what they're supposed to do, and so this is how outliers like Trump get into power. I predicted, like I said, I predicted the Trump-Johnson future back in March 2016. I'd have to pull up I don't know if I can search for tweets. Can I search for tweets by time? That'd be advanced Twitter, wouldn't it? Advanced Twitter search. Advanced Twitter search. Can I do that? Darren Locke, March 2016. Oh, you're gonna right. They don't do it by date. Can you do it by date? You can. I can do it by date. March 2016 to May 2016, and just wait there for a minute. Wait there. I want Trump, and from these accounts, that's me. Darren Knock. Let's see if I can find it using advanced search. That's completely crap. It's giving me. It's just that's not what I wanted. Oh. No, that's not what I wanted. Let's try again. Trump, future, Johnson. It's actually May the 6th, 2016. I can show you. Look at this. Now, when I show you this, you need to throw yourself on the ground and start worshipping me like some sort of god. I know it's frightening, because here we go, folks. Here we go. There we go. What does it say? It says, I can't make it bigger. That's what she said. Yeah. Look at that. May the 6th, 2016. After today, we face a future that could contain President Donald Trump and a Prime Minister Boris Johnson. It weirdly kind of makes sense. That's before Brexit happened. That's before, I think even before, big Trump thingy-majig, before Johnson even announced his candidacy, before David Cameron had even left. I did it. I predicted the future. If only I could predict the fucking lottery numbers, Darren. Why are you so fucking useless? Predict the fucking lottery numbers. Do something useful with your life, you fucking failure. Sorry about that. But there you go. Ooh. And you can't fake that. You can't fake that. You can try and fake it, but you can't fake it. Can't fake it. Do 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 do. Can't fake it. Do 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 do. Can't fake it. Do 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 do. Can't fake it. But yeah, what are John Lydon's political beliefs? I don't know. I like John Lydon a lot. I like him a lot. I watched the Public Image is Rotten because it's on Amazon Prime. I watched that on Sunday. I was going to do a review of it, but you know, I thought you'd all be a bit sick of me reviewing things. But it was really interesting. I like him. He's an interesting character, and he believes in the truth, you know. And he's like me. I can't lie. I can't. It's physically impossible for me to lie. His comes from his meningitis, and and trying to find his way back to his family after forgetting them, and things like that. Mine came from my father lying to me all the time and leaving, you know, and I remember how those lies really stung, and how those words really hurt me. And so, as a kid, I just, I didn't see any point in lying. You know, I couldn't see the point. So I've always been truthful, and it's lost me friends, and it's just lack of filter, you know. But there you go. So I like Lydon. I've got a lot of time for him. Mark Barnes' Arsenal beliefs, yes, because he comes from that neck of the woods. Zeb says, I'd love to see more Torts reviews or a primer. Could happen. I don't know. Mutton says, are there any Peter Gabriel or even Jenny songs that always make you emotional, like a personal relationship with the song? Well, Gabriel's one is Father Son. That always makes me. Other than that, I have a heart like a complete stone. I don't really tend to feel anything because I'm not sure I'm even human. You know, so no, there are no Johnny's. There's no Genesis. No Genesis songs that make me feel emotional. Matt says, what if you were given the opportunity to have a phone chat with Steve Hackett? I'd say no. I don't want a phone. Why would I want to what? Phone a Hackett, dial a Hackett. Fuck off. If I want to talk to him, I'll meet him face to face. He knows where I am. He knows where Miss Sofa is. Mind you, I think I might have his address. I think he actually posted it once, and I clipped it. I thought, oh, could be useful. You never know. Might need to send the boys round. You know, because it's in Norfolk, you see. But no, I'd prefer one-to-one. You know, tea and a biscuit. Not for me, for him. And but I'm not a phone chat. How uncouth! It's the 21st fucking century, Garrett. How old are you? You know, 70. Everyone does Zoom now. They do Zoom and FaceTime and whatever else that they do. Mine says, did Midori Target ever reschedule that show? No, but she's got 2 new albums coming out. Is it? Oh God, was it this month? I don't remember. Is it this month or is it next month? Who knows? It is. He can tell you this because I've got it saved because, you know, I'm on the ball. June the 10th. Fuck, it's the end of the week. Shit, I better order. But it's a bit expensive. They're very expensive. Like €51 for the pair of them. I wonder if it's cheaper on Resident Music. One of them's called Cutting Branches for a Temporary Shelter, which of course is a traditional. I had some coleslaw with my salad. That's my life now. Coleslaw, salad, bit of tomato. This is why I pray for death. I can't live like this. Yeah, Cutting Branches for a Temporary Shelter was, of course, covered by the Penguins, wasn't it? It's a traditional song played on the thumb piano, and she's covering it. It's the basis of the album. She's got 2 albums coming out. Yeah. You Who Are Leaving to Nirvana is the other album. Both coming out on the same time. So Thomas says, do you wish you knew what you knew now when you were younger and stronger? What, I was going to get old? No. All I wish was I wasn't so scared, when I was younger. But then that was all kind of, beaten into me by my mother. What happened with my father and that. It kind of made me kind of distrust people, Again, not that I had a good childhood, except for my father leaving, but it had such a psychological impact on me, because it does. It did back. It was the 70s, and the stigma that was associated with that, and so it made me very fearful and distrustful of people. Because when my dad left, everybody in the street where we lived turned against me, because it was unheard of. They all had dads, they all had families, and we were the only single-parent family on the street. And they started calling me the bastard, which was nice, and threatened to beat me up. And I had to front it out. My mum used to send me out and say, you've got to face them. And so that's when I started not giving a fuck about people, and it made me the robot that I am now, because that really hurt my trust of people, because these are the kids I used to run with and play with, and they found out, and like I said, I was no longer welcome. They probably remember it differently, because time does that to people, but I remember it, and it really affected me psychologically speaking. So yeah, whereas the friends I had where my grandparents lived, I used to spend a lot of time there. They didn't really know about it. Oh, and except for a bit older, when I was a bit older, one of the girls I used to play with, not like that, don't be filthy, we were just kids. I think her parents had a word, and she said, I can no longer play with you, and our friendship kind of ended. It was a stigma. People don't understand what it was like back then. People do not understand. You were basically a pariah, and then into the 80s the Conservatives blamed single parent families and single mothers for all the ills of the world, and I had that to contend with. My father did me no favours at all. It was alright. He started another family, he had his daughter, that was great, and I was forgotten. I was put in a shoebox and forgotten, and that's that. I can live with that, it's not a problem. But the reason, as I'm going back to Munton's asking me about the thing about the songs, the father-son song by Gabriel is about him and his relationship to his father, and I never had that. And I'm not I'm jealous, it's just I always wanted in the back of my mind to reconcile with him and kind of fix it. And I gave him the chance when Verity was born. I tried my best, and it looked like it might have been happening, and then it went cold, and and then nothing happened. Then we had Herb, and he was not interested, and he went a bit weird, and his daughter went a bit weird, and I don't have anything to do with them. And then when my mum died, and I thought, well, I better tell him, because he was married to her, and I thought, well, and he got weird then and started blaming everything on my grandmother, who'd been dead for over 20 years. And I basically said, well, go fuck yourself. And that was it. That was the end of it. I told him to fuck himself, I didn't say that. I said, well, that's the end. Rhetorically speaking, I told him to fuck himself. But again, the boy in me, every boy needs their father. I see, it's like with my own kid, with my own son. The relationship between father and son is such a precious thing. And this is why a lot of boys are lost, And I'm not saying that you need to have traditional family units or whatever, but there should be a strong male presence in their lives. There should be a father who isn't mucking around or whatnot. It can be done, but it's really important. I got serious. It all got a bit serious then, didn't it? It all got a bit serious. But what I tell my younger self is the lottery numbers. Always the fucking lottery numbers. Floyd said there should be an Atom Art Mother box set. You'd be saying there should be an Gamma box set next. Oh no. Even the band don't like Atom Art Mother. Renee asked, what games am I playing these days? I'm kind of not playing them, because I've got Ghost of Tsushima waiting for me, and I know that if I fall down that rabbit hole, I'm never going to come out again. But Pac-Man Museum Plus dropped the other week, and I've been enjoying that. What do you mean? You've been using your Xbox Series X and your Nintendo Switch OLED edition to play old arcade games? I'm just kinky like that. I'm just a bit weird. You know, though the Xbox version does have a little bit of lag, so the Switch version is betterer, indeedy. Grantman says, watching the Jubilee gave me mum pride. She was at the original 1953. Haven't felt as happy for England in years. She said, I'll never know because I'm Canadian. Well, exactly. You're out in the colonies. You know, you'll want to break away from a Royal Madge. God bless her. I was never a royalist because I'm a good socialist. I was like, bring down the monarchy. Dare they? But then, what do we replace it with? We replace it with a fucking republic, don't we? Was it President Blair? Anyone? I'd rather eat my own cock, thank you very much. And then, as I've got older, I realised that I'd rather have the Queen and the royal family where they are, because we can have these things, and we wave our little flags, and we do the flyovers, and it's something to watch on the telly, and they're just better than us. They're better than any fucking president. Because what's a president going to do? He's going to be like Mayor Khan. They're going to come in, they're going to get paid, they're going to use it to make more money and more influence and whatever, and they're going to do fuck all. They're not going to make our lives any better. The politicos don't. I'm going to go on a rant again about the fucking political system and how it's all fucking useless. All fucking useless. All of it. So the royals, I like it because they annoy stupid people who sit there going, we should have a republic and it should be a president. And I think, good, I'm glad you're fucking annoyed because you're a fucking idiot. Ugh. And because it's all born out of jealousy. Am I jealous of the Queen? No, because she's put in 70 fucking years of dealing with an awful lot of bullshit. She has to meet with Boris Johnson every week. She had to meet with Thatcher, John Major, Tony fucking Blair. The lot of them. That poor cow. You couldn't pay me enough money to do that. And then there's the rest, they've got to do all the charity stuff. Their world isn't their own. She can't nip out for a kebab. She can't pop out. She can't go and see, Peter Gabriel. Just turn up. She can't do any of that. She can't nip out with the corgis and go for a walk around St James's Park at 2 a.m. because she can't sleep. She can't. I can do that. I can do it. She can't. And that's it. But there is a lot of jealousy with that, But would you really want the royals' life? No, because they're under the microscope. You can see what's happened with Harry and Meghan. I have nothing against Meghan. Because people say, you're racist. I'm not. I think it was great. I loved the wedding. It made me emotional. It was nice. It was a nice thing. I like seeing people happy. But then trying to commercialise it and and sell it out to Netflix, I don't know. I don't think that's a good thing, and it's a real shame because Harry could have done so much more, and so could Meghan. If they could have done so much more with charities and whatnot, if they'd have stayed as part of the royal family. But I guess they wanted to modernise and they wanted to have their own life. And this is the thing about, would you want to be in the royal family? They didn't. But if I was in the royal family, God, the good you could try and do, the good you could try and achieve. But then I'd be standing there saying, these politicos are a load of rubbish. Elect me. Imagine if we went as a republic and Charlie stood and he got voted in as President Charlie or President Willie or President Harry. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't mind it. See, people don't like British exceptionalism. I do, because we are the bulldog breed and people forget it. We're that little island that, stopped Hitler. I know America helped. It was the Americans. No, but we put up a fucking good fight, right? And Hitler was jealous of us and he wanted to be us and he couldn't be because he only had one ball, you see. the other is in the Albert Hall. But people don't like British exceptionalism. I do. Because we had an empire once. Yes. The empire. The empire. What we need is a second glorious British Empire. We'll show them. We'll show them all. Show them all. Everybody wants to live here. They come across the channel in their little dinghies, you know. Everybody wants to be here. Because of cool Britannia, that's why. Cool Britannia. Britannia, you are cool. Take a trip. But yeah. But you can feel it. Because you can be a Canadian where in Canada you can get arrested and go to jail for misgendering someone. You're a bunch of idiots over there. You're fucked. Canada's fucked. Alex says, Darren, have you heard the album Leaf by the Album Leaf? Oh, don't start that again. Are you the real Alex Johnston or are you an impersonator? Mutton says, Alex, haven't you been asked this every week now? Well, I don't know if it's really him. The same way as I don't really know if it's you. So, who knows? No, I listened to that Tortoise album. And what else did I listen to? I listened to Penguin Cafe Orchestra. An awful lot of Penguin Cafe Orchestra. I never want to listen to the Penguin Cafe Orchestra again. Never again. Mutton says, it says, who are your top 5 favourite female artists? Don't start that. Watkins says, hello. Good evening, Watkins, if it is you. Fasana says, you think your dad leaving shaped your worldview? Not my worldview, just the way I view people. I view people as shallow and cynical and out for themselves, like he was, and a lot of them are. A lot of people I met are like that. And a lot of people take my kindness for weakness, and I don't like that either. And a lot of people accuse me of being Machiavellian and always having a plan, which may or may not be true, but it's not true. I don't see myself as having a plan, but I can tend to second guess things, and it looks like it's weird, and people don't like me, and that's great. I've had that all my life, ever since my father said to me when I was little, no one's ever going to like you, you're never going to have any friends, everybody hates you. And he said that to me when I was about 4 or 5, and that vividly stuck in my mind to the point where I was obsessing about it, and it really worried my nan, because she actually remembered telling me about it, when I was older. She said, do you remember when you went through that? I never told her what happened, because she said, I was really worried about you then, because I kept asking everyone, do you like me? Will you be my friend? To my nan, to my granddad, to my mum, because he fucked me up, same way as my mum fucked me up. They messed up my brain, You should ask the missus. The missus, when she met me, I was a different person to what I am now. Still the same, but different. I was incredibly shy, crippled with shyness. This is why I identify with Lydon. He created a character to deal with all that. And it wasn't until I got my first proper big job that I created this character who could deal with things. Because I couldn't use the telephone. I literally come out in a cold sweat because my mum used to make me phone up where my dad worked, and on the old payphones, and it again crippled me. And so it was only then I learnt to drink to excess and create a persona to deal with things. And so I got through my working life. But he wasn't a very nice Darren, so there you go. But it's how you deal with things, isn't it? And you drink too much, and you don't sleep enough, and you drink too much, and it makes you very, very ill, so. But no, my father's influence over me was very little, because, like I said, I had my mother every 5 minutes saying, you're just like him, you even look like him, you're just like him, he's a bastard, you're a bastard. I had that all my life, so coming on the internet, I'm used to it. I'm used to people having a go at me, so, I laugh at you, ha 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 ha. Like, they fuck you up, your mum and dad. Sonny says, have you heard Scott Walker's music? Yes, I have. I was edited by Bowie, and his career path is fascinating. I prefer Walker Brothers. The sun is gonna shine anymore. Like that one, And No regrets. I love that song so much, and one day I will cover it. I love that song, very good. Yeah, he's an interesting character. Again, it's not really my kind of music, but you know, that's that documentary about him. You know, is it 20th Century Man or 21st Man? I can't remember. That's interesting. Go and watch that. Mother says, if Final Cut immersion set was threatened to the world, would you have Roger Waters put in a cell with Putin to rot? I don't think that's going to get a release, do you? Do you think Gilmore and Mason would rubber stamp that one? I think they'd go, not on your Nelly, Roger. I think he's going to have to outlive them, you know, to get the casting vote on that. Bjorn says, good evening. Well, it's nearly good morning, isn't it? Rene says, is Sunderland promoted to the Champions League? I have no idea. Sturm says, and she has Andrew as a son. Look, Andrew couldn't help himself. Right, he thinks with his cock. Epstein took advantage of the poor guy. Pedo Island. Epstein's lawyer wouldn't even stay on Pedo Island. He'd fly in, he'd get Epstein to come on the jet to sign the papers and then fly out again because he knew that there were cameras everywhere. Because you go, imagine Bill Gates, you go to Pedo Island, right, and you go, oh, this is nice, I like it here. Oh, I just think I'll go and have a look at the sea, and you'll sit, there'll be benches, and you just go and sit there, and you go, oh, this is really nice. And then suddenly, a half-naked girl will lay across you, traipse across you like that, she drapes like that, and you go, oh, this is a bit weird. And then you'll notice there's a camera on a pole staring at you, and you go, oh, fuck. Because that's what Epstein was. It was all about power and influence, and he influenced a lot of people. And again, these techniques what they're used by Maxwell. You know, Robert Maxwell, because he used to employ people like Max Clifford. Wonder what happened to him. You know, they'd create dirt on people, you know, to manipulate them. Because again, Maxwell was a Israeli spy. He may have been a triple agent at one point. All these people are murky, and Andrew is an idiot. He is. He's a fucking A-grade moron. He's not very smart, and he walked straight into it. La 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 la. Yeah. So, and that's it. And Andrew's an idiot. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sturm says, "Evening, Darren. Been a while since I stopped by. Glad I dropped in mid-rant. Oh, I'm sorry. I won't do it again." Inquisting said, did the Pink Floyd singer just another prick with on board? About Hitler, indeed. Because, you know, Roger Waters' dad was killed by Hitler or something. Pinks is in. He says, hello, how's things? They're going. He says, do you think your father knew you too well? I don't think he knew me at all. How would he know me? He left when I was 7 years old. You know, how would he have known me? I knew him too well. I knew him very well. But no, you know, we met again when I was, crikey, when was it? It was after my degree, so it was when I was 23. I spent a month. It was every weekend for a month hanging around with him until he just dumped me and sent me a dear Darren letter in the post. It was nice. I should dig it out, shouldn't I? I made a photocopy of it because I sent it back to him many years later because my mum found a load of stuff of his and I included it in. I sent it to him, a load of photos and shit, and sent it back to him. I sent that letter back to him just to say, here you go. And that was the end of our relationship again, because again I tried to build a relationship and he just didn't want to know. He did not want to have anything to do with me because he didn't want to confront the fact of the things he'd done. He just didn't want to talk about it, you know. He couldn't admit he was wrong. He couldn't admit that he abandoned me, you know. And this is it. Because I didn't see him, you know. He sent me a birthday card, no money in it, because, you know, times are tight. Meanwhile, he's taking his daughter on holiday to Disneyland in America because times are so tight. But, you know, it's the thought that counts, I suppose. And I'd never open them. I'd give them to my mum and say, you open them. And then, when you're done, can you tear it up for me? Because I didn't want to even want to touch it. I mean, he's the reason I don't get angry. because there is a darkness deep inside. And when I was, oh God, when was it? Crikey. It would have been 83, I guess. I would have been 12-ish. So I'm about 12 years older than my sister, I think. But my mum had gone, because his brother was getting married. My mum's then brother-in-law was getting married at a local church, and she thought she wasn't invited, but she thought she'd have a look. And who was there but my old man with his bird, and she was heavily pregnant, nigh on about to pop. And my mum came home in a right state, and I got angry. And because not more than a few months previously, he'd visited us, and was promising to come back. Oh, I'm going to come. I'm coming back. And that's what there was the promise. I'm coming back. Don't worry, Darren. I'm going to come back. I'm going to sort out that, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to live together, and we're going to be a family again. And I had that every time he saw me, until he never came back anymore, because my mum found out that he'd got this other woman up the duff, and they were still married at the time. This is the thing. So I got really angry, and I went out into the toilet. And punched the walls so hard that I split my knuckles open. Not anything big. I was only I was a streak of piss, But I looked at my hands, and my hands were a bit raw. And I vowed never to lose my temper again, because it wasn't worth it, and he wasn't worth it. And I've never lost my temper since then. I'm totally in control of everything, and it's a beautiful way to be. Yeah, I get exasperated, but never lose my temper. Losing your temper means you lose control, I can't do that. I won't do that. So there you go. But no, my dad was an arsehole, so there you go. So all you need to know, really. And says, thought it was the last one last week. No, it was the last one of the week. Pink says, Tom Jones turned 82 today. What a legend. Yeah. Went to the doctors. I said, Doctor, I keep feeling I'm like Tom Jones. The doctor said, it's not unusual. Sonny says, Doc is 30th century man. I was close. Come on, I was only 9 years out. Jesus Christ, that was a fucking critic. Jesus fucking Christ. Blunt says, as our Lord and Saviour Canny said, no man should have all that power. Exactly. Jim S. said, Matt Prince would have been 64 today. Yeah, but he's not. I'm still here though. Grantman says, my mum still says cool blimey. My granddad used to say, get you cow son. I want to get that back in the lingo. Get you cow son. He's a cow son. He's a cow son. You're a cow son, you. You're a right cow son. John Sturm says, is that a domino pencil case? No, that is a domino, last domino set of dominoes. There you go. It's still sealed. Still sealed in the case. There you go. That's my memento of Genesis. One day I'll open them. No, I won't. Sturm says, should I be more respectful of the soul bearing you're doing instead of trying to think of Genesis stationery? No, you can do what you want. I don't care. I'm 51 years old. I don't give a fuck. He's dead. Who cares? He went up the chimney. Who gives a fuck? I think. Hope. I hope. And I was released. I was free. But again, I don't have anything to do with my half sister or anything. I don't think she'd want anything to do with me. I'm not her kind of person, And that's her problem, it's not my problem. My heart is open, but I think they see me as some sort of, extension of my mother, which I am, obviously, because she's the one that raised me, but I think that time is gone, because they never told me my dad died. She never sent me an email. She never. Again, I try and treat people decently, and she never said, oh, by the way, your dad's dead and we're having the service here. No, keep Darren away. I found out via the internet. because I had to search for it, because every so often I'd search for my dad's name just in case, and then it came up, and that's how little they thought of me. I'm nothing. I'm merely something he ejaculated into existence. I am nothing to them. I think more of them than they think of me. And it's a shame because the woman he left with always treated me nicely and always was very respectful to me and that, and I thought we had an understanding, but you don't, and that's people for you. I'm not the enemy. You just think I'm the enemy, and that's a shame, but life's too short, isn't it? I wasted so many years thinking that, I don't know, one day he might change and one day we might have a proper father-son relationship, we might break through. And again, he never even saw his grandchildren, he never even saw them. And you think, how fucking callous can you be that you turn down the opportunity to see your own fucking grandchildren? I'd move heaven and earth. Again, everything also changes when you become a father yourself. You see everything differently, And I'm like, who the fuck are you? You're not related to me, So there you go. No, I mean, I don't have a problem talking. You can ask me a question. Ask me a question. He says, thought about therapy to do with your conflicts. Why? I'm perfectly happy with who I am. I don't have any problems. I don't have any problems. I'm happy with who I am. I don't. That's not what keeps me awake at night. It's my busy brain that keeps me awake at night. No, I've dealt with all that when I was a kid. It's gone. It's done. I don't. I'm happy with who I am. I have a great relationship with my kids. I have a great relationship with my wife. I'm the best version of who I can be. So, I talk a lot. I got my therapy. I talk to the missus. Shit, there are no secrets. I'm an open book. I'm doing it now, for fuck's sake, Do you think I need therapy? No, I don't need therapy. That's the thing, So no. I need to be a therapist. I need people to talk to me and I can help them, because I feel that I could help people. But unfortunately, this life has taken me down this particular cul-de-sac, and I've come too late in my realisation that I've always avoided people because they scare me and they're unpredictable, and I go, oh. But now, again, having kids and everything, I think, wait a minute, I've figured them out. they're just like me. Fuck. And I think I could probably help people, talking to people, because I'm good at talking. I like talking. So that'd be good. Zeb says, are you watching Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah, I said, yeah, Flea was in it. Yeah, I did do that. And says, what would you say to your old man if you saw him now? Well, he's dead. I'd say, what the fuck? I'd say what my grandfather said when I told him I'd met him. And he went to me, because my granddad was a man of very few words, and when he spoke, you listened. He turned to me and he went, has he grown up yet? And I went, no. Because this is after I got the letter and, he'd rejected me and I wanted to talk to him about it. And I told him about it and he went, not worth a light, that one. And I related that all to him when he had to go at my mum when she was dead and my nan when they died. I said, you do know that my grandmother and grandfather, they never liked you. They never liked you. They never even wanted you to marry their daughter. They thought that you were beneath her, And that was the last thing I ever said to him. And I knew that would have cut him like a fucking knife, because he thought he was the great I am. He thought everybody loved him, And I knew that would have hurt. And it was true. They always thought he was no good. So there you go. You've got to remember, this is the fella that came. My nan and granny was looking after me whilst my mum and dad were like going out, like they did. and they were looking after me. And he got so drunk, he came and accused them of kidnapping me because they wouldn't hand me over to him because he was too pissed. And then he beat up my grandfather and then called the police. And my grandfather said it was some ginger kid who came, and he looked at what was going on, and he just went as if to say, "I'm out of here," because my father was a raving drunk, and he beat my grandfather up, and he just went, "Come on," and that was it. That's what this fella was like. He was a piece of shit, And there I'm stupid. I want him to be my daddy. He was a piece of shit. He should have been flushed away. There you go. But anyway, apparently died of throat cancer. All the fucking lies he told. Poetic. Died on 1st of April, April Fool's Day. Thanks, Dad. That was the biggest gift you ever gave me. Every day. Every day I think about that. And every time it comes around, I go, April 1st, Daddy's dead day. It's not April Fool's Day to me anymore. It's Daddy's dead day, So there you go. Anne says, John Anderson been dumped. I don't know what's he talking about. Pink says, last domino was a bit sad really. 2002 should have been the last. Well, yeah, but it didn't. They needed to pay for divorces, you see. Gyro says, did you like your grandpa? Yeah, I did. He's my maternal grandpa. He's the man. He's my dad. He is the last of the old Laytonians. He's the one that, he's the guy that named that. And it was an honour to have known him, He, like I said, he was a man of few words, tough as old boots, And he's a funny one, And I miss him. I'm getting sad. You make me feel sad now. My paternal grandfather, he died a lot earlier. He died of cancer in Whipps Cross Hospital, and I went to see him again. And he actually, I didn't know this because he told my aunt, and she relayed it to me when I got in touch with her about my dad dying. I went, they never told me, and she went, oh. And then she said, oh, your grandfather, he was really touched by you coming to visit him in hospital. This is like all these years later, like 40 years later, 38 years later. And she goes, oh, it was really good what you did. I was like 10, I was like 10 years old or whatever. And here was this old man just rotting away with cancer. And he raised all of them. He was the first single dad. He raised all the kids because his missus ran off, And they used to take the piss out of him. And I liked him. He was all right. He was a quiet bloke, And that touched me. But it was on that ward, C5 it was called, I found myself on when I had pneumonia when I was 13, whatever it was, 14. And C5, which was the cancer ward, where they shoved everyone to die. And I'm like, am I dying, Mum? That was nice. Who's dying tonight? Oh, I wonder which one of the old buggers is dying tonight. Oh, is it going to be you over there? That's what it was like. It was like cancer bingo. God, that was harrowing. Oh. And then, of course, there's the ones who are senile with cancer, who are walking around naked in the night, and you're awoken by the sight of a naked old man wandering about by your bed. Oh, I seen things as a kid I should never have seen. Those were the days. Russell says, I'm enjoying Kenobi. So am I. I'm enjoying it too. Of course, you've got to kind of disengage your brain. But it's all right. And Ewan McGregor's accent's a little bit. But little Leia, loving her work. And Lola, the beep 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 beep. He's oh no, he's talking about. Grant says, nice show to control your temper. I always knew you were smart. Well, again, it's horrible to be in such control, And having kids makes you realise, especially when you're dealing with autism and stuff like that, you realise that, wow, I've got limitless patience. I must have limitless patience to record all this shitty music all these fucking years, eh? That takes fucking patience. But no, again, being angry doesn't really achieve anything. Anger is an energy, and you can channel it into other things, and it can also be incredibly destructive, and it can blind you, and it can lead you down to bad decisions, and and men, fueled by testosterone and other influences, can be blinded by their anger and do very stupid things. And as men, we all have a duty to realise that, and to realise that anger is probably the worst emotion. That and jealousy. I mean, I never really understood jealousy. It's something that kids get, when someone's got a better toy than you, and I never really cared that much, If people do better than me, then well done, I'm a loser. I know who I am, I've not got a problem with it, so, but I've never understood those emotions. But then that's because I'm a robot. I feel nothing. Of course I feel everything. That's the problem. I feel emotions. I get emotional very easily. But it's more, it's not anger. It's more exasperation than anything else. But that bloody rage, that rage I had when I was, that was frightening. And it's leaked out when I've been really drunk, but I've usually, I felt that. Oof. There is a dark well within me that only alcohol can get to, and I know my limits. This is the thing. I know my limit. You got to know you. You got to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, then you're never going to know anyone else. So know yourself. Oh. Rene says, so what will be the next Marillion EMI release? Don't care. It's either going to be Season's End. I've sold mine, they're gone. And I don't really care anymore. I'm sick of Marillion. I'm sick of all of them. All of them. Mind you, no one mentioned it. Did you? Peter Hamill ended up in hospital on that tour that they were doing, VDGG. Ended up in hospital. Never said what happened. I think he had an operation or something. Maybe it's a bunion. Maybe he had an ingrown toenail. I don't know. But I'm just sick of all of them, to be honest. All that stuff isn't exciting. This is why I can't get excited about Gabriel's threat of a new album. Because I worry that every song's going to be, 8-9 minutes long. Now, if he said that I've brought Daniel Lanois in to produce, I'd go, I'm there. I'm absolutely there. But if it's self-production, then I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know. I'm just tired of all this fucking preaching and virtue this and signal that. I know what we've got to do, but I think hitting people over the head every fucking 5 minutes is just exhausting. I can't keep up with it. It's just like, oh God, please stop preaching. Preaching's for Sundays and for religious men. It's not for your fucking band that you like, is it? I want to escape. I want to escape via music. I don't want to be reminded all the time how fucking awful I am. I don't want to be reminded about that. I don't need music to do that. But as long as the fans are enjoying it, don't worry about me. I'm all right. I'm all right. I've got the Penguin Cafe Orchestra. Simon Jeffs will never let me down, and neither will Peter Gabriel. There you go. Sturm says, saw them in 07 in Stuttgart. Are you talking about Marillion or Genesis? Andrew says, sorry I'm late, I overslept. If that's really you, Andrew, you never know. Anne says, I thought you meant his wife Jane left him. What? Who? Anderson? Oh God. Who are we talking about? Alex says, who am I voting for in the next election? I might not even vote. There's very little point in me voting around here because it's a Tory stronghold. I vote in the council elections because I vote for the Loughton Residents Association, which is independent, and they get in and they do things like answer my queries about dog poo bins. Why have you taken all the dog poo bins away? We need more bins. Can you put more bins down Rectory Lane? Because there aren't any bins from Hillyfields right into where the Debden tube station is. There's no bins. We need more bins. And so that's who I vote for there. But there's very little point in me voting ever again. There's no point. There's no point. Because if voting achieved anything, they wouldn't let you do it. We were lucky we got that Brexit referendum through, my problem with Labour at the moment is they are infected with the whole identity politics thing, and Keir Starmer, now known as the Todger Dodger, cannot define what a woman is, and Boris Johnson can, and says things like, well, men shouldn't be in women's sports. And I go, damn straight, Boris. Oh, fuck. Why do you keep doing things to make me agree with you? You know, and so politically I find myself cast adrift. I can't even vote Green because they don't even know what a woman is either. Oh, Darren, why do you care so much? Because I talk to my wife and my daughter and it's like really fucking important to them, you know? And that's that. But we live in a very strange time where identity is everything. We've got to affirm everyone and pat everyone on the head, you know, and talk about pronouns and bullshit like that. And that makes me sound right-wing. I'm not right-wing. I don't care what you do. But you can't control my fucking language. When you start altering the meanings of words, it gets into real fucking Orwellian shit. Oh, I bet you haven't read 1984. I did. A long fucking time ago. A long fucking time ago when that fucking film was out. I think we were made to read it at school. You know, Winston Smith and the cage and everything. You know, and I'm not talking about the album cover with Anthony Phillips. I'm talking about the fucking book. It was a long time ago, okay? The same way they made us read Animal Farm. I didn't fucking enjoy it. But, yeah, once they mutate the language to mean it's and render it meaningless. Oh, I'm non-binary. You know what that means? It means you're nothing. You're nothing. You declare that you might as well say, I am nothing. Everything is meaningless now. Everything. You know? Everything. Everything is meaningless because that's what we've done. We've become obsessed with everyone being happy. Everyone's got to be happy. Everyone's a special, you know, flower. Oh, wow. We can be no losers here, you know. Makes me sound incredibly right-wing, but this is how I'm seeing things because we have created a whole infantilized generation in, well, I guess we call them millennials and possibly some of the Zoomers as well, who need approval all the fucking time, you know, and need to be told how to be all the fucking time, and are only happy when they're in a little gang picking on other people all the fucking time because they've got no culture. They've diluted their culture to a point where everything is meaningless, you know. So, you know, social media's done this, you know. When we were kids, we were interested in, I don't know, sport, football, films, books, music, TV, girls, I don't know, you name it. But we had interests, and it was about expanding ourselves and expanding our mind. Now it's about being as narrow as possible, as narrow-minded as possible, under the pretense that you're not. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh. Action says, shame BNP isn't what it used to be. BNP? Alex, you talk like that, you could get yourself blocked, you know that. That's not very nice, is it? I had you more down for an NF myself. Sturm says, all those themes up next. Oh, that's good. That's an underrated one, actually. It's a pretty underrated album. Pink says, you see faces, Darren. You don't see their hearts. There's a saying around here that goes something like that. Or you Kip. What the fuck's you Kip? I think you're a troll, Alex. Blunt says, I watched Pistol a few days ago on your recommendation. Shame Lydon's so bitter about it because out of all the members he comes across as the most decent member of the group. Because he is. I think he always acts honestly, and I think people are always dishonest around him because they can't believe how honest he is. You know, and I think again the main problem is him and McLaren are very similar. Whereas he deals in truth and McLaren deals in lies because he wants to achieve something, whereas Lydon deals in truth to achieve. So they're the same, you know, two sides of the same coin, and very intelligent, very smart, you know, and that's why they clashed. And I like both of them. I like McLaren, even though he's a complete see you next Tuesday. The guy, again, especially with the music he made, you know, with Duck Rock and everything, and when he mixed classical, you know, and opera, and you know, he did Vogue before Madonna did Vogue. Go look it up. You know, this is the thing. The guy was so ahead of his time, and that that album, that music didn't even do anything, and then Madonna comes along like 2 years later and does Vogue, and I'm going like, McLaren did it earlier. No one's listening to me. So yeah, McLaren's musical career is quite interesting as well. So you should go and check that out. Very nice. Therapy, nice band. Yeah. Welcome to the Church of Noise. Teeth Grinder and stuff like that. Pink says, who touched you? Can you point to where she touched you? Well, it's mainly my father. One memory I have of him actually sticking his tongue in my ear. I was very young though, so I don't know what happened, But there you go. That's something for you to, Anne says, I saw a hilarious vid on YouTube of an old Steve Howe losing his temper at a Yes gig. I saw that one. Such a grumpy old sod, kicking audience members out of the show. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, Gov. I wasn't there. As I say, Steve Howe, if he had a trumpet, he'd blow it. If he had his own trumpet, he'd blow it, wouldn't he? Young Wave Audio says, just bouncing in now. Deep, indeed. It's very deep. It won't last this rate, mate. Preaching is bait out. It won't last at this rate, mate. Preaching is bait out. Bait out. I don't know what that is. Don't you mean? Andrew says, yes, I am him. They all say that. Even Jesus said that. Iz says, if you don't have kids, how would you end it? Pills, rope, gas, or lead? How would I end it? What a jolly question. It's quite easy. It'd be on a beach somewhere, nice and sunny. Pills and a lot of alcohol. Good meal though. Have a good meal first. A lot of booze first. A fucking lot of booze, and then pills with booze on a beach, just watching the sunset, and that'd be it. That's what I'm doing if I ever get a terminal illness as well. So I've already got it planned. So if I get a terminal illness, and I know I'm definitely not gonna, no one gets out of this alive. That's what I'm doing. I'll probably fly to Australia or somewhere like that, where the family can't find me, somewhere where they wouldn't necessarily realise I've gone, and do that. Jolly, innit? Isn't it jolly? What fucking... The one where I told you how I'd kill myself. I can't put that. We can't even talk like that, because YouTube's now going to demonetise this video. Thank you. But definitely not rope, or a gun, or gas. Cushion says, this really is a therapy session. I feel lucky to the parents I have, both thoroughly decent people. I see them every week. You know they're talking about you behind your back. You do know that. When you leave, they're going, he's a fucking idiot. Look at him. He thinks he's so clever, but look his haircut. Fuck me. That's what they're saying. Right behind your back. I'd make a great therapist. Young says, you looking forward to the new Porcupine Tree record? Yeah, because I'm going to make some new friends on YouTube when I review it. And they're going to love me. And they're going to love everything I say about it. I like it when there's a new Steve Wilson and Porcupine Tree record, because I feel special, because people want to come and watch my videos. They don't want to watch my videos otherwise. Pink says, but trans rights down, political correctness is so forth. Well, look, there's nothing wrong about being politically correct, right? There's nothing wrong with being right-minded. There's nothing wrong with being woke, obviously, because we don't want to be, racist, sexist, homophobic, or whatever, But come on, can we just have a break, just for a little bit, where we can just, tell rude jokes and not get upset about things, and we can be adults again. Because I know all this stuff. I've known all this stuff since I was a kid, and, because again, I remember, way back at, school, talking about homophobia and, racism, when I was, 12, 13 years old. We was talking about it then. I feel like my entire life has been dominated. Be good, be this, be that, And I'm just tired. I'm just tired of it all, because it doesn't achieve anything, And I don't think. Again, I think in the UK, racism and homophobia is in a great minority, but I think sexism is on the rise. There's a great deal of misogyny out there, especially fueled online. I think that's the real big issue, and we're seeing that in this whole trans debate because men somehow want to usurp the role of women, and that's really fucking weird, and I don't understand why you'd want to do that. Well, I do know why, because it's all about breaking down boundaries, and there's one stop at the very end where all boundaries are broken, and I can't even talk about it. You've got to figure it out yourself. If all social boundaries and social conceits are taken away, where do we end up? You've got to work it out. I can't talk about it because it's YouTube, and I don't want to get demonetized or cancelled or anything. So you've got to work it out. But there's nothing wrong with being nice. We should be just saying, let's be nice. What happened to peace, love and understanding, eh? What happened to that? But I hear things. Again, my daughter comes home from school and she tells me things. Like they had a talk about, homophobia and transphobia and all this. And in the class, they were talking about, well, if you see someone who looks like a woman, it might be a man who's a woman, but they're a woman because trans women are women. No, they're not. You're not allowed to ask them if they've had surgery because that's transphobic. My daughter tells me this. I say, so right, you're in a changing room or in a toilet and a guy comes in and you look at them and you go, that's transphobic. That's an issue of your own safety because 99% of all sex assaults, and rapes are committed by men. Not all men, but that's the statistic. All right? So that's a safeguarding issue. Women have the right to question anyone who comes into their designated space. Same as men, the other way around. That's the whole point of having these spaces. We all have boundaries. We all have things that we don't like, and we should be allowed to protect them as long as they don't break the law. But we seem to be heading towards this real, morass of morals where, I think I've woken very up, where everything is broken down, and it's not right. There has to be a third way. There has to be a middle ground. And nobody wants to talk about that. If you discuss that, you're labelled as, like I say, a bigot or transphobic. And it's like, no, I'm not. I don't care if you want to live like that. Good for you. But we've all got our boundaries, and we've got to, if you want me to respect your boundaries, you've got to respect some of mine, or my daughters, or my wives, or whatever, whoever. And it doesn't seem to go like that anymore. There's no mutual respect. There's no discussion. There's just shutting people down at every opportunity. And I find that really disturbing because I don't care how you live your life. I really don't, because I don't really care about people, individual people. I couldn't give a fuck what you do. Why? Unless it affects me. Why would I care what you do? So it doesn't really bother me on that level. But when the schools are teaching my son and daughter this kind of don't question anything, this kind of blinkered worldview, the point of going to school is to actually challenge the world, to actually question things that are going on and going, is this right? Is this oh, and the word transvestite is apparently transphobic now. But that is the technical term for a man who dresses as a woman but doesn't want to have the surgery. They're transvestite. A transsexual is a man or woman who has the surgery. They have the gender reassignment surgery. But that's even a bit. You've got to use transgender. You've got to muddy the water because we're gonna confuse everyone, because then that way we can change laws and break rules and push boundaries back. And you go, where is this going? Why are you doing this? And that's where we're at. And that's why I'm confused by the world. I think the world is in a very strange place at the moment. And the real issues we need to be dealing with, like, the economy and energy and ecology and that kind of stuff is being kind of forgotten. The people are obsessed with these, ideologues, and it's just like, wow, these things aren't even real. All the different names that you invent to call yourself aren't even real. You're either straight or you're gay. That's it. There's no or bi. There's nothing else. Everything else is extra steps, is extra complicated. But we seem to be obsessed by this, and I don't know. It's a funny world in which we live. It's confusing, and I'm involved because my kids are involved, and this comes home from school and they talk to me about it, and I sit there going, wow, really, wow. But I'm glad that they're the age that they are. And again, autism plays a heavy part in the whole transgender thing. Luckily, my son, he's a man. He likes being a man. He's looking forward to learning how to shave and everything. But that concerns me because vulnerable people, like my son, they can be manipulated very easily. They can be, convinced into things that, criminal things, all sorts of bad things, and that's a worry, And you have all these things sloshing around. And you go, how did life get so fucking complicated? I thought we was all meant to be getting on together. Remember, gender's a construct, race is a construct, but biology is real. That's all you've got to remember. It's really easy, really easy. Based, exactly. Alex says, yeah, the internet has allowed access to the culture, so we think we have a whole generation with weapons-grade decision paralysis. Exactly. What shall I watch next? What shall I listen to? I know, I'll just sit and watch TikTok for 14 hours. I think one of Verity's friends, her record of TikTok was something like 14 hours in a day, because they can see the usage. 14 hours. Surprised her brain isn't like rice pudding. Yeah. Pink says, I like the singles in Holidays in Eden. Good songs. It's not a bad album. It's one of the forgotten ones. Young Wave says, can you go off on the DUP in Ireland? I'm sure you've got some opinion. I keep out of Irish politics. Give Ireland back to the Irish and all that. I really, again, that's up to the North and South to deal with, and it's like Scotland when they're independence. Yeah, I'd be sad to see them go, but that's an issue for the Scots to decide and nothing to do with me. Really, we should all have a vote, and we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, we should all vote on all this stuff. Everyone should have a say in it. But I don't really get involved in Irish politics because one day Ireland will be united. It will happen, and that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, if that's what the people want, I don't have to live there. It doesn't affect me. It's one of those things. It doesn't affect me. Like I don't live in Scotland. It doesn't affect me. I live in England. And if we had to break away from the rest of the UK, then that's my vote, and that's what I have an opinion on. It's just, it's a shame these things change, but everything changes over time. Things change. We can't stay the same all the time. So, yeah. Pegasus says, even down, how's your groove been? Steady. Cushion says, I find it hard to hate Boris Johnson. His dithering posher acts must work on me. Trump, on the other hand, I have an instant hatred of. That type of person brings me out a bad reaction. It don't matter. Well, again, Boris Johnson, I like him because he makes no attempts to lie. He's the most honest lying politico ever. I mean, he just lies. That's what, there's no truth to him. He's Boris Johnson. You know what you're going to get. He doesn't even pretend. And the country got what they deserved. Theresa May was meant to be the safe bet, and this is somebody, I didn't like her either, but safe and steady, but they didn't like her because of the way she was steering the EU conversation, and so they forced her out. Again, there was a lot of misogyny in that. The way the EU treated her, very, 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 very dubious if you watch the documentaries around that time. But Boris Johnson, it's just Boris Johnson, really. It's what he's the Prime Minister we deserve, And do you think Keir Starmer's a better choice? No. Nope. I thought Jeremy Corbyn might work out, but then, he was being manipulated. He was dangerous because he wanted to push it too far to the left. And people are, socially to the left and economically to the right. There's a happy balance there. And that's what any political party's got to find. They've got to find a happy medium. Socially to the left, economically to the right. And I don't think, technically we do have a socialist government at the moment, because if you look at a lot of the economic policies that the Tories have brought out, they're all out of the Labour Party playbook. All this money they keep giving us, it's quite nice. So this is the problem. But I'm not a Tory, and I'll never vote for them. But Boris Johnson is is better the devil you know. Because who do you want? What, Prime Minister Gove? Prime Minister Hunt? Prime Minister Dorries? Oh fuck! It's just the law of diminishing returns, isn't it? Really, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. John Sturm says, Renee has become a member of the Giant Hogweed Club. Thank you, Renee. Hopefully you enjoy it. There's absolutely no benefit to join, I'm afraid. John's doesn't even gets labelled as pop album, but there are some great songs. Splitting Heart. Well, that big bit at the end, This Town and 100. Is it 100 Days? It's like two songs glued together, and it's a good little story in it as well. He says McLaren was a genius, Lydon was a poser. Look at the Grundy footage. No. Pink says big news down here is that this week Coldplay broke old Roger Waters' record from 10 years ago of most concurrent dates on the same stadium. They sold out 10 shows for October, November. What a world! Oh, that's why they weren't playing the Queen's Jubilee. But did you see Queen? Did you see the Queen and Paddington Bear? Dunk dunk tink, dunk dunk tink on their teacups. Perfecto. Alex's message has been withheld, but I'm gonna review it. Where is it? Yeah, McLaren is a very interesting figure. He obviously knew what he was wanting to do and somehow bumblefucked his way into getting it. Well, I think there's an intelligence there, but I think it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of guidance, But I found him a fascinating person. Inkelstein, if you think the current politicians are bad, wait for the next generation. Exactly, it gets worse and worse. Young says bait out is an Irish term for it. It means defeated. I would not know that. Cushion says couldn't stand McLaren. Exactly the reaction he wanted. Fell for it. Damn. Well, that's the thing. It was the whole point. There's the old saying: it's better to be hated than to be forgotten. Isn't it? People only remember the saints and the sinners. Anyone else gets forgotten. Pink says, how dare you criticise our Lord and Saviour, Steve Wilson? I don't know. He says, as a relative who was in the SBS who blew out in front of his wife. Well, I won't read that out because of YouTube. That was nice. He blew his nose in front of his wife. Young says, I know your favourite band is It's Bites. You got me. Guilty as charged. Cushion says, Stephen Wilson. Is that the I don't believe it guy? Exactly. I don't believe it. That's right. Grant says, the man in the dress is still a man in the dress. Hope this doesn't end the live chat. It could do. There's this thing called the polite conceit, right? This is what we're forgetting. There's a thing called the polite conceit. And, what they're trying to do is they're trying to break our brains. And you can't break someone's brain. Because, crikey, when somebody has the operation and they have gender reassignment, it's a polite conceit that we call them by the gender that they're taking on. We know in our heads that person started out as their birth sex, and they have transitioned, right? And the polite conceit is we agree with that because they've earned the thing. And when you break that polite conceit and you force people to say things that there's was it cognitive dissonance, and you're deliberately breaking people's brains. It's a very, it's almost like it's a very socialist thing. It's very like Russia, Chinese government type thing, isn't it? Where if you say the propaganda enough, it becomes true, and it's not a good way to be. I think again, if these people were serious, we could have an honest discussion about it. And we could talk about, transgender people in sport and appreciate that, if a male boxer, takes on a female boxer, no, imagine Mike Tyson slips on some earrings and some makeup and goes in the ring. What's going to happen against the best female boxer in the world? He's going to kill her. Same with rugby or any close contact sport. There are some sports where it's fucking dangerous. That's a given. You can't argue with biology there, right? And then all the other ones, men, whether they, even if they don't hit puberty, they have a biological advantage because of the androgens in our system. We have testosterone and whatnot swishing around from us from in the womb. It's what makes us who we are. We are failed women. We start off as women, and then, it's kind of a bit of a myth, isn't it? Is that a myth? It might be a scientific myth. You might need to look that up. But anyway, we have all this stuff sloshing around in us, and it makes us physically different. But we can't do that anymore, and that's wrong. But there has to be another way. But there can't be, because we're going to force this onto you. And you go, okay, when somebody gets killed, don't come crying to us, when that's it, But Mike Tyson should be, slipping on the dress and saying, I'm gonna have some fun in the ring, because he'd get the gold, wouldn't he, at the Olympics? Young says, no, he's the guy that loves iPods. Yeah, I remember that. Do you remember that? Young says, edgy. Who's being edgy? What, you? Or Stephen Wilson? I'm not sure. Oh, what? Because he broke the iPods, didn't he? Yeah. I suppose he was edgy back in those days. Do you remember when he was moaning about kids playing computer games and he sounded like Grandpa Simpson? That was Fear of a Blank Planet, wasn't it? And he was moaning, oh, those kids playing on their computer games. Nyeh, nyeh. I've been playing computer games all my fucking life, Never affected me. And that's when I realised he was a complete arsehole, Christian says, I'm starting to online petition to cancel Neil Young because he had an album called Trans, but he isn't actually trans. The car, Trans Am, get rid of those, isn't it? Cancel craft work, exactly. Young says, I'm offended and that's all that matters. I get offended by things, but, I've said it before in the past, like people like Frankie Boyle, the comedy, when he used to take the mickey out of disabled people and that. I don't watch him, I turn it off. But I'm not going to say ban him. You can make the most uncouth jokes you want. That's the whole point of humour. Humour should be sometimes dark. It should be also, harmless. It should also be, not knock jokes, but it can also be the dark parts where we tell the dead baby jokes, But everyone has feelings now, And, we all have feelings. But, do you really want to control the world? Do you really want to wrap yourself in virtual cotton wool? I don't know. It's a funny society we're heading into, and I don't understand it. He says, what do you think of the Amber Heard result? Turns out Johnny was innocent. Well, he wasn't. I mean, again, when he got together with Amber Heard, I was like, oh fuck, that's not going to end well, because she had a reputation before. She would come out of a lesbian relationship, and I think she'd been a little bit problematic there, and go and look up. There's a film called London Fields, which is Martin Amis' book they were making, and she's in that. And that film basically got destroyed because of her behaviour, because she messed around, there was nudity in it, and she said that there was no nudity clause in the contract, but there wasn't, and so they got a body double, and then she started saying this wasn't what she wanted, and the film ended up getting just buried because of her behaviour. She's a very problematic person, and I think, so is Johnny Depp. He's obviously got substance issues, and you combine that together and it's a volatile relationship. I don't think either of them are innocent and either of them are guilty. I think Depp's biggest mistake was trying to sue a British newspaper for libel, because our libel laws are different to the US. You basically have to be Mother Teresa to get a libel win, because even if you've, shouted at someone or thrown, maybe he did throw something, a glass across the room, not at her, but in her, just randomly, that's going to be seen as an aggressive act, and you will lose the libel, because you've got to be a saint on earth. And that was the dumbest thing he ever did, was try and pursue a libel case without being Mother Teresa. But we're in the American thing. It was different because we got to see the case unfold, because you broadcast it over there, and Amber Heard just came across as weird. Her testimony was, you're just thinking, is this genuine? Whereas Depp played it cool. He's Johnny Depp. He's a star. And it's terrible because it's turned domestic violence on all people, whether they're male, female, or however they identify. It's turned domestic violence into a bit of a comedy show, and it's not. It's serious. It's a serious thing, and I think it's damaged, domestic violence for everybody, because it isn't a comedy, and that's my thoughts on it. I think it's all a bit stupid, and Johnny should never have got involved with her. And as soon as things got heavy, as soon as Elon Musk, Billy Bob Thornton, James Franco started turning up in the lift, you make your excuses and leave. Is this thing on? Says very BBC episode of Doctors, as all men as evil predators. Fuck the BBC and the licence fee. Well, we are all predators. Men are predators by nature. It's in our nature. We are hunter-gatherers. It's in our lizard brain. We are programmed to predate. So it's perfectly natural. Like I said, 99% of sexual crimes and rapes are committed by men. That shows you that we're not the same as women, because it'd be 50-50, wouldn't it? And that figure will be skewed in a few years' time, because police start registering men who identify as women, and so you're going to see that wobble, that figure. And that's why it's dangerous to do this, because you start to lose a sense of what society is. If all these words and definitions suddenly become meaningless. Blunt says, totally agree with you a lot on the points you're making. As someone who's spent a lot of time in the trans community, a lot of it is preaching to the choir. We need more openness and empathy on both sides. Exactly. This is it. I mean, I did a review of the trans book, and I bought that because, again, what my daughter was telling me from school, and I became very fascinated. When this all began, I thought people like Graham Linehan had gone mad. I thought, why is Linehan going on about this? I thought he was mad. Trans people, they're all right, and you do. And then my daughter goes to big school, and like first week, and she's saying, "Oh, well, my friend, again, I'm not going to say any names, is now bi." I'm going, she's only 12, and this one is now trans. I'm going, wants to be known by a male name. I go, but that's a girl, right? Yeah. What, she wears trousers to school and butches up? No, she wears makeup, and she wants to be known as a yeah. And I'm going, what? And every one of them has to have a special flag. They're asexual and whatever. Oh, this again, it's mind-boggling, and this is their thing. Whereas we used to talk about, like, say, music or football or whatever it was, this is what the kids are talking about, and this is reinforced by what's happening on social media, and by, again, third parties who are not being genuine. And it's really fucking weird. It's a weird time to be alive, I don't understand it, because I don't have any issue with anyone doing whatever they want, as long as it's not with animals and children. As long as it's consenting adults, enjoy it. I'm sure there's things that I've done as an adult you probably wouldn't want to witness, like I'm that interesting. But you know what I mean. The way we are in the bedroom or behind closed doors, that's our business. Get on with it. I don't get invited to those kind of parties, so but I became interested in it because, again, my daughter still tells me stories now. It's still going on. She's got a friend who is identifying as a boy, but she's not. She wears makeup and wears skirts and likes dressing up as a girl. But and I think it's because her home life is miserable, and so this is acting out, and it's really not good, because if she gets influenced by the wrong people, she could end up on a path that she's going to regret when she's 25, because remember, kids are kids. They don't know what the fuck they want, That's why we don't let them have tattoos. That's why we don't really let them, drive cars and drink alcohol and do adult things, because they're kids, And we're shifting adult responsibility onto children, and that's really fucking weird. But hey, we live in strange times, and we need to talk more about this and be honest about it. I'm not trying to destroy people. I don't want anyone to be miserable. I want people to be happy. But we're heading for some sort of weird, a weird aftershock of this. This culture is going to end up with some very strange things in the next 5 to 10 years. And at least some of us are aware of it, and that's no. But nobody wants to talk like this. Everyone wants to point fingers and try and destroy people, and that's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help the genuine people that feel unhappy, and that's where we're at. Pink says, I find TikTok utterly stupid and repetitive. Never watched it. Sorry. Because the Chinese spyware that they put on your phone. So I will not download any Chinese-owned apps, I'm afraid. Young says, give honour back to the Irish. That's Paul McCartney, wasn't it? Old Macca. Pink says, so will we ever see a deluxe edition of Islands, Earth Moving, and Amarok? Place your bets. Mike Oldfield is incredibly quiet. I don't know. Let's get Tubular Bells out of the way. The anniversary. Is there going to be Tubular Bells 4? Who knows? Maybe that reissue campaign will start again. I don't know. It went incredibly quiet. Who knows? Maybe there's no more appetite for it. Maybe all of Mike Oldfield fans are dead. Maybe me being cast out of the super secret Mike Oldfield group for being reasonable was the death knell for Mike Oldfield. I don't know. And Evans opened. Will I review Henry Cow? Does anybody want to hear me review Henry Cow? Leg End, or whatever it is. Mutton's back from dinner. Did I miss everything? Nah, we just putting the world to rights. Blunt says, better a flamboyant failure than a benign success. Yep. Well, was it success is buried in the garden of failure? That's my personal favourite. Sturm says, this town, 100 nights, Rex progress, chef's kiss. Exactly. That's I agree. Mwah. Munton says, I remember you reviewing Solstice a long time ago. Does that still stand out to you? No, it's a load of crap. Afterglow says, I've never been so offended. Afterglow, it's a non-story. The John Depp's shite. It is. It's just, they're both troubled people, and lawyers get involved, and lawyers think, how much money can I make out of this? And Amber Heard's destroyed her career. I feel sorry for her in that respect. I think she was a mover and shaker. She was a climber, and there's nothing wrong with being ambitious, and there's nothing wrong with doing what you need to do to get success if that's what you want to do. It again doesn't affect me, but I think she's, I don't think she helped Depp's career, and he hasn't helped her. They've kind of stabbed each other one in the back, and it's a shame that it came to that. But there you go. That's what happens. Martin says, I didn't mind the Heavens Open album when I first heard it, but I found it strange the way he sang on it, and never doing it again because it sounds nothing like the way he talks. Well, again, Heavens Open was a big to Richard Branson because he blamed the failure of Earth Moving on Branson because he wouldn't market the album, and I think that also extends to Amarok as well. And you've got to remember that turn, it was like 1990, the turn of the 90s. Mike Oldfield was a bit old-fashioned, and nobody really, the kids weren't into Mike Oldfield, and you can't really blame Branson for that. And I think he kind of threw his toys out of the pram. That's why we have those albums. We have Amarok, Earth Moving, and Heavens Open. And then straight on to Tubular Bells 2, because he had that tucked away, ready for his escape to Warner Brothers. He met his contractual album obligation. Heavens Open is the contractual obligation album, and he was on his way. So that's the way it goes. Martin says it's like Oldfield borrowed someone else's vocal box for you. Well, he can't sing, and he knows he can't sing. Alex says, wasn't there a swimmer last week who won female race, but people were complaining that she was born a man? Some say we're meds for 2 years. That was testosterone. So low, it's no threat. It's not about testosterone. It's about it's about your whole biology. You know, your whole endocrine system was a man, and you have musculature. You know, if you compare a male skeleton to a female skeleton, it is noticeably different. You know, it is denser. Therefore, we need stronger muscles to move it around. You know, I shouldn't have to explain it to you. It's basic biology. Yeah, mind you. Have you ever lost maybe you've lost an arm wrestling contest to a lady, and that's why you think that it happens. Afterglow says the professionals were fairly bad. Cushion says Depp makes me laugh with his rockstar act. I'm sure he spends more time getting the pose right than playing the guitar. No, he was, he wanted to be a musician, and he fell into acting because of his looks, and he's doing that album with Jeff Beck, isn't he? So, I think he does what he does. It's, all actors are failed musicians, and all musicians are failed actors, aren't they? And all failed musicians who want to be actors are YouTubers or something. I don't know. Oh, that's a controversial one. Afterglow. It's been blocked. After says men swim against men, we swim against women. Trans swim against trans. Exactly. We create a whole new group, right? Wouldn't that be good? We can create a whole new group, and they can be celebrated for who they are, And I don't understand why they wouldn't want to do that, because that's purely wouldn't that be pure recognition for their own skills and abilities? I ain't got a problem with that. Let's do that. Let's do trans football and trans, rugby and trans everything, and and then that would be inclusive, wouldn't it? But to muscle your way into somebody else's gig, that's not what inclusion is it? Oh dear. Cushion says, I think trans thing is being funded by the cosmetic industry to sell more makeup. No, there's a lot of money in it. In America, it costs, was it $70,000 a pop for the surgeries, and millions in aftercare. So it's business, and that's without all the drugs that are pumped, being handed out, and that's the problem. Big pharma apparently with a PH. Cushion says Depp is a bit of a high case, but he's one of my favourite films. Edward directed Glenn or Glenda, which is about a transvestite. Everything is linked. It's one of my favourite films. Was it Boris Karloff? He's not fit to sniff my shit. One of my favourite lines ever. Munton says, when's the last time you listened to Man on the Rocks? Probably when I reviewed it. Why would I go back to it? It was shit. Not very good, was it? I mean, it's not Return to Armageddon, is it? Martin says, do you like Jeff Beck's Blow by Blow and Wired, produced by George Martin? Again, it's not really my kind of music, 'cause it's kind of that bluesy kind of, I like Beck for who he is, because, Nigel Tufnell was based on him, but, I like him as a person, because he's, in interviews he's all right, and he's, he plays well, but it's not my kind of thing. Blunt says, my dad was a big farmer. I bet he was. Did you see the size of his boots? Munt says, do you want to pull out a random CD? No. Pull the string. I don't know what that is. Because it's time for bed. It's 5 to 1, and I've still got to get up in the morning. So, anyway, hopefully we've had a fun time. Hopefully. At one point there were 40 people in. Alex likes the Man on the Rocks instrumental versions. Indeed. They were good too. So yeah, hopefully we've all had a good time, and I didn't traumatise you too much with the when I bare my soul, whatever it was. But again, most of you know these stories anyway, because I've already told them. again, I don't want people to think who's watching, oh, he's anti-trans. I'm not. Just think about it. Think of what's going on. Think about how they're changing, this ideology is changing language and trying to change things, It's weird, isn't it? That's all you've got to think about. And why would a man want to swim in a race with women, Because remember, biology is what we are. Oh, but what about the intersex people? They represent less than 1% of the entire population of our planet. You're either male or female. And sex isn't assigned at birth; it's observed, because that's what doctors and scientists do. They observe things. It's all about that. Again, they do this to change the language, and it's really interesting. And somebody like me, I'm really interested in language, and I've got 2 English A levels. Don't ask; it's complicated. I'm fascinated with this, and I'm fascinated because it's Orwellian. Because if you read 1984, you change the meaning of words, and you can get people to believe anything. And I'm not sure if I want that. I like a reality that we can all agree on, rather than everyone's personal reality being as valid as the next person, because that sounds a bit deranged to me. That sounds like delusion, But again, as I said to Lenin Luna, who doesn't come by these times, because he's what did he say he was, a demigirl now? He's on the autistic spectrum. I worry about him. That's fine if that's what you're into. I don't care, but you sure? Because autistic people are vulnerable. And I know it's not cool to say that, because autistic people want to be seen as independent, but as somebody who's got an autistic person, I see that vulnerability, and I care for these people. You know me. And if you want to call me these words that like people accuse me of, that's fine. But it's not true. I care. Probably care too much. That's the problem. And what my daughter tells me from her school is really concerning. Again, there's lots of stories I could tell you, but I can't, because it's stuff. But I've given you a little idea of what's going on there and how weird and obsessive it all is. So that's where I'm coming from. And just think, like two years ago, I didn't have a skin in the game. When my daughter was still at the infant school, wasn't even a topic. First week at secondary school, she comes home. It's like, this is happening. That's happening. Not what's her name, who I've known since she was 5. It's like, what's going on? But there you go. Bare me arsehole, that's right. The one where I bare me soul, I think we'll go with that. Because there's some mornings I could do with a lower foundation, so could I. It's got a spot on my head. I might get some concealer. It's not even a spot anymore. It's just I've just got a mark. Maybe it's skin cancer. Maybe the pills and booze are coming. What do you reckon? One where I celebrated the death of my dad. I'm not celebrating it. I wouldn't do that. He's gone now. You don't speak ill of the dead. Oh, it's too late for that. No, it's the one where I bare my soul. I think, bare my soul. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've been on here far too long. I was going to have an early night tonight because I haven't slept properly for 2 days, and I only had about 8 hours sleep in 2 days. So I'm feeling all right actually. And I'll probably go. We've got 3 water tanks above our side, and the neighbours have got 3 water tanks. But the water, the main, goes into our loft and fills the tanks, which then fills their tanks, and it's constantly running all the time. But because my ears are so attuned, they're like Stephen Wilson ears. The one where I stole Stephen Wilson's ears. I can hear this water running all the time. Mrs. can't hear it. Can hear it in the bathroom. Standing in the bathroom, can hear it. But in her bedroom, I can hear it. I'm laying there like that, with the sound of water running about. It's like there's a permanent tap running. And I'm like that. I'm laying in bed like that. I can hear it. And no matter how I turn off my brain's going, there's water running, Darren. There's something you need to fix. It's just, there's that, and I'm an initial light sleeper, but once I go off, I'm off. You know, it's that thing. And then it's my brain. My brain's like. Insomnia is a curse. It's not delusional, it's madness, says Afterglow. Blunt says, got 12-year-old talking about gender identity, sexuality. When I was that age, didn't know what I wanted for dinner, let alone what I wanted to identify for my whole life. Exactly. When I was 12, I was lusting after a ZX Spectrum, you know. I mean, it was so simple. You'd rush home from school to play on your ZX Spectrum, a bit of, I don't know, Jetpack maybe, and then, you know, bit of Grain Jill. You know, maybe there'd be a cartoon because they've got an extra bit of time. Maybe a bit of Tom and Jerry. Then your tea. Then watch the telly. Then to bed. Those were the days. Maybe listen to some music. You know, those were the days. Everything was a lot easier. Take care. Exactly. Everyone take care. I'm Wilson phobic. No, I want Wilson to do a great album. I want Wilson to do an album where it actually feels like he means it. You know, I think it's a very clever attitude. I don't feel his music. I don't feel anything in what he does. You know, there's maybe one track, that one where the kids are dead or whatever, and she's putting the things away, and it's not sung by him. That one's the only one that's ever really kind of moved me. You know, off of whatever it was. Was it Encounter Rays? Off of that one. But I find him a very contrived character. Read his book. He comes across like that. You know. So. You liked Dizzy, yeah. Mrs. has blocked it out. Oh yeah. Yeah, Dizzy. Yeah, I never played that. I was never into that one. I was more of an ultimate play the game kind of guy. You know, played all those ones, and an Elite on the Spectrum. That was fun with a rubber keyboard. Those were the days, though. It's made me the man I am. Anyway, thank you for watching. I do have to go. And we'll do this again soon. Remember, if you can't be good, be safe. You know, what's wrong with, you know, love, peace and understanding, and more importantly, don't tell your mother. Turn up.